A Navy Admiral stopped the graduation after spotting a janitor's tattoo. The graduation ceremony was running precisely on schedule. Rows of officers in training sat perfectly aligned, uniforms pressed, faces forward, waiting for their names to be called. Families filled the hall, cameras ready, pride thick in the air. This was the moment everyone had worked toward for years. Along the far wall, barely noticed, a janitor moved quietly with a mop and a bucket. His uniform was plain, faded from use. He kept his head down, careful not to distract anyone. Most people didn't give him a second glance. He was just part of the background, someone meant to stay invisible. As he leaned to adjust the bucket, the sleeve of his work shirt rode up. A tattoo showed briefly on his forearm. It wasn't flashy, no skulls, no slogans, just a simple, unmistakable symbol, weathered ink, precise lines, worn by time rather than style. From the front row, a Navy Admiral froze. The Admiral had attended hundreds of ceremonies. He'd seen every kind of uniform, every rank, every ribbon combination imaginable. But that tattoo stopped him cold. His eyes narrowed, then widened slightly. He leaned forward, staring again to be certain he wasn't mistaken. The janitor noticed the stare and subtly pulled his sleeve down. The Admiral stood. The music stopped. Conversations died mid-whisper. The announcer hesitated, confused, as the Admiral stepped onto the stage without a word. "This ceremony is paused," the Admiral said firmly. The room went dead silent. Graduates stiffened. Parents exchanged nervous looks. No one understood what could possibly warrant stopping a graduation. The Admiral pointed, not at a graduate, not at an officer, but toward the wall. "Sir," the Admiral said loudly, "would you please step forward?" Every head turned. The janitor looked around, unsure. He pointed at himself. The Admiral nodded. Slowly, the janitor set the mop aside and walked down the aisle. His steps were calm, measured, almost military, though he wore no rank, no insignia. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. What's going on? Did he do something? Why is the Admiral calling him up? The janitor stopped a few feet from the stage. The Admiral descended the steps and stood directly in front of him. For a moment, neither spoke. Then the Admiral raised his hand and saluted. Gasps echoed across the hall. The janitor's posture changed instantly. Years of instinct snapped into place. He returned the salute, sharp, perfect, automatic. "Permission to speak freely, Admiral?" the janitor asked. "Always," the Admiral replied. "You recognize the unit," the janitor said quietly. The Admiral nodded. "I commanded its support operations 22 years ago. That tattoo is not decorative, it's earned." The room felt like it had lost its oxygen. The Admiral turned to the audience. "This man is a retired special operations veteran, multiple classified deployments, commendations most of you will never read about. He was presumed killed during his final mission." A stunned silence followed. The janitor swallowed. "They needed me off the records," he said simply. The Admiral looked at him with visible respect. "And yet, here you are, still serving, just differently." The Admiral turned back to the podium. "This graduation is about honor, sacrifice, and service. If you think those qualities disappear when the uniform comes off, you are wrong." He looked at the janitor again. "Would you do us the honor of remaining here?" The janitor nodded once. "It would be mine." The Admiral motioned for him to stand beside the stage. As the ceremony resumed, every graduate now understood something far deeper than rank. When names were called, salutes felt heavier, more meaningful. At the end of the ceremony, the Admiral spoke once more. Today you graduate as officers. Remember this moment. Remember that the greatest warriors may never stand in front of you. They might be cleaning the floors beneath your feet. The janitor quietly picked up his mop afterward, ready to return to work. The Admiral stopped him one last time. Your service isn't forgotten. The janitor gave a small smile. It never needed to be remembered, just respected. And as the hall emptied, no one there would ever look at a janitor or a tattoo the same way again. The hall emptied slowly, but the weight of what had happened refused to leave. Graduates lingered in clusters, families spoke in hushed voices, and more than a few people kept glancing back toward the stage, as if expecting the moment to replay itself. The janitor stood near the exit with his mop, suddenly unsure where he belonged. He'd spent years learning how to disappear. Attention still felt heavier than any mission ever had. The Admiral approached him quietly. "You never told them who you were." The janitor shook his head. "Wasn't necessary, sir." "That humility is why you survived," the Admiral said, "and why you were chosen." A young lieutenant, one of the graduates, hesitated nearby before stepping forward. His voice trembled. "Sir, may I ask why you stopped the ceremony for him?" The Admiral didn't answer immediately. He placed a hand on the janitor's shoulder. "Because some people carry history on their skin. If you don't recognize it, you're not ready to lead." The janitor gently removed the hand. "They don't need my past," he said. "They need their future." The Admiral studied him for a long moment, then nodded. "You were always like that." Security officers arrived, tense, expecting trouble. When they saw the Admiral standing there, their posture snapped straight. "No issue," the Admiral said. "Just a lesson." As word spread, whispers turned into understanding. One by one, graduates approached the janitor, not to pry, not to ask questions, but to offer quiet nods of respect. A parent stopped him near the door. "My daughter just commissioned today," she said softly. "Thank you for reminding her what service really looks like." He smiled faintly. "Tell her to protect her people. Everything else comes second." Outside, the Admiral walked with him toward the service corridor. "You ever think about coming back? Teaching? Advising?" The janitor looked down at his hands, rough, scarred, steady. "I serve best where I am." The Admiral extended his hand. The janitor shook it, firm, equal. "Then know this," the Admiral said. "Every officer in that hall will carry this moment into their command. You've shaped leaders today without giving a single order." The janitor picked up his mop and returned to the quiet hall. The floor gleamed, but something else had been cleaned too: assumptions, arrogance, blindness. And long after the chairs were folded and the lights dimmed, the lesson remained. Real rank never fades. It just learns how to stand quietly in the background.